Hello, vinyl community, music lovers, and welcome everyone. I found some fun things down at the record store this week, and I'm really excited to share them with you. Starting with these Beatles picture discs. Now, these were released in the 80s as a way to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the singles. Now, this one came out in April of '84 for I Feel Fine and She's a Woman. It was a way to celebrate, as I had mentioned, the 20th anniversary of the singles. I thought that one was really cool. And they also had Ticket to Ride, backed up by Yes It Is. Now, this one came out in '85 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Ticket to Ride. I thought that one was really cool. Now, when I first spotted these down at the record store, there was 3 of them. They also had the Help one last week, but I didn't get them then. I went back this week and there was only 2 of them, so I had to snap them up. And I guess timing is everything. But I thought those were some really cool picture discs. Little 45s from the 80s. I also picked up Rubber Soul, which is my wife's favorite Beatles album. I believe because of the song Norwegian Wood. She really loves George playing the sitar on that one. Now, the reason I picked up Rubber Soul is we're going to see the Fab Four in a couple months. They're touring the nation. They're a Beatles tribute band, and they're going to be playing Rubber Soul in its entirety, along with all the other Beatles hits. So I thought I better brush up on my Rubber Soul before I go see them so I can sing along to every word. Of course, this is a great album. Some consider this the Beatles' green album, as opposed to Revolver, which might be more of a blotter album, if you know what I mean. Now, the next thing that I found out of the corner of my eye, I spotted in the K section, what? Kiss the Originals. Now, they have had a copy of this down at the store for about 2 years now, but somebody had written their name right there, and so I couldn't pull the trigger on it. But when I spotted this one, my heart skipped a beat. What? Of course, this contains Kiss's first 3 albums. These 3 are in great shape. Starting with the debut album. And of course, this has Kissing Time on it. Next up, Hotter Than Hell. I dig this album. Of course, the production's a little muddy, but it's a great record. Hotter Than Hell. And then, of course, Dressed to Kill. Now, as I mentioned, when I spotted this, I was like, oh my goodness, what a Grail. But alas, no booklet or cards. So I'll have to keep searching for those. But I thought that was a killer add to the collection. Next up, I'm going to see Thunderstruck in about a week. America's AC/DC tribute band out of Evansville, Indiana. They're a rockin' band, very good. So I had to get Back in Black to brush up on some AC/DC before the show. Can't believe I didn't already have this one in my collection. Now, of course, this is an almost perfect record. Can't wait to go see Thunderstruck. Gonna see them next week, and then 4 days later, Brit Floyd, and 4 days after that, Bret Michaels and Firehouse. Now, the last record that I picked up this week is Pat Benatar, Icon. Now, I love Pat Benatar. And the wife and I have been fortunate over the years enough to meet her and her husband Neil a couple of times. I've gotten to signed Crimes of Passion there. I've got a guitar signed by Neil. Neil is a highly underrated guitar player and songwriter. And in my opinion, these two make a magical duo. So I had to pick up Icon. Now this has 11 of their top 10 hits on it. And it comes on blue wax. So let's take a look at this. As I mentioned, I've been fortunate enough to see Pat and her husband Neil. They like to tour the North Woods up here in the summer. And I've seen them at a couple small casinos. And Pat has always been amazing. Love Pat Benatar. Now, as I had mentioned, this comes on really cool blue wax. That's awesome. Can't wait to play that. Now, as I had mentioned, this has 11 of their top 10 hits. The problem is, Neil and Pat wrote 12 top 10 hits, and my favorite is Promises in the Dark. And that's not on this record. It's on Precious Time, Pat's third studio album, released in 1981, her only album to reach #1 on the US charts, and it went double platinum for Precious Time. And friends, that leads me full circle to the theme of this video, and time, and how very important it is. Or like Pink Floyd says, ticking away the moments that make up a dull day. Or like Alan Parsons says, time flowing like a river. Styx has too much time on their hands. Jim Croce's got time in a bottle. Cyndi Lauper's got time after time. Bret Michaels and the Boys from Poison ain't looking for nothing but a good time. And REO Speedwagon says, it's time for me to fly. Now friends, down in the comments, let me know what some of your favorite songs about time are. Good times or bad times. Also, to everyone who subscribes to my channel, and to all of you who take the time to comment on, like, and watch my videos. Thank you so very much. I hope that you find it time well spent.